Yes, sir. We are motherfucking back.
Back a
Gang
motherfucking
within the
again.
game. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My boy Jason Lamar. It's your boy Duffelbag Ren. You already know what it is. Hey Jay, man, how you doing? I never asked you how the fuck you doing, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing lovely over here, man. Life is fucking amazing. How about you, sir? How are you?
Hey, look, life is good, man. Life is good. I'm starting to understand life in a whole different way, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I just understand this shit. I don't want to say I got it down. I got it down pat. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when, as soon as you say some shit like that, that's when some shit happened. But I got it down. I got it down, man. I got this shit kind of figured out right now. I'm on cruise control, and you know, we working, man. We working.
Hey, man, it's a beautiful thing. We start getting a better understanding of how things go, and finding that flow and just grinding.
Yeah.
That's what it's about at the end of the day. Forever forward.
Yeah, man. I've been it's going this going to sound kind of wonky and weird, but I don't know. I've been in tune with the universe, man. I've been in tune with the motherfucking universe. The universe is starting to speak to me, man. It's
Nah,
starting to
that
speak
should
to
only
me.
sound weird to people who don't know any better.
True. But I'll get a little bit more in depth, right? Even before we start the show, this because we never get to kind of like kick it, you know. So we're gonna
That's a
kick it right
fact.
now. We're gonna kick it right now. I'm gonna tell you about what the fuck going on in my life. You know what's going on right now, right? So yeah, like I said, the universe is speaking to me, man. And when the universe speaks, I listen, man. And before I never used to listen. That's the thing. I think I think I couldn't hear it speak. It was too many noises, man. Too many distractions. Too many drifting. Too many drifters in my in my path, in my direction. But right now, I can hear the universe speak to me, man. Right? Some people might call it God or something spiritual or something or energy. I'd call it the universe. I could just hear it speak to me. And for instance, right? And you could corroborate this story. Um, the universe spoke to me before we did this podcast, right? And you started following me. I don't know, maybe last year sometime. I followed you back. Um, and I was watching you, and I was watching your content. I'm like, yeah, I kind of like this guy, man. He's talking that shit. I like that shit. He's talking that man shit. I like that, right? Um, well, the universe spoke to me, right? This is what the universe said. The universe said, "Hey, man, you should do a podcast, man. Like, you should." But I'm like, I'm telling the universe, man, I don't talk. I don't, I don't, I don't talk to the cameras, and I'm not into that type of shit. Like, I rap and I go home, man. That's what I do. Um, but nah, the universe would not leave this one alone. It was like, nah, you need to do a podcast. You need to talk to the people out there. You need to talk to these men. You got to talk to these women. Whoever's going to listen. So I'm like, all right, cool, maybe, right? I'm telling the universe maybe, and something was like, man, you should do it with this cat, Jason Lamar, man. You should just start the podcast with Jason. I'm like, we never even spoke at this point. We never even spoke at this point. But it just was like something kept telling me, not something the universe was like, nah, man, reach out, right? Reach out, ask him what he's doing if he's willing to do it, and I did that shit, man. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Hey Jay, man, I know we never spoke or anything, but we should probably do a podcast, man. I know that should sound crazy, but fuck it. And here we are, right? But I just say that to say the universe, man. The universe is crazy if you listen to the universe, man. It's wild.
It it really is, and you know what? The universe speaks to everybody. Most people just tune that shit out, right? Like I spent most of my life hearing all this. You get the little voice in the back of your head. You should do this. You should do that. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. I thought I knew better every time, and every time it never worked out for me. Whether it was something I knew that I shouldn't do, and I went ahead and did it anyway, and nope, it was a bad idea. Or every time it was something I knew that I should do, when I was like, maybe not right now. Now's not the time, or whatever. And then it always wound up, yep, should have listened. You should have acted on that when you had that thought in your head. So that's a blessing, man, to get into a point where of working on yourself where you could be in tune with the universe like that. And again, yeah, we spoke about this before about you just reaching out to me with the shit. And I had been thinking about doing a podcast for a while, but I mean, I said from the beginning too, like I want to talk about some of this stuff, but I can't just sit here monologuing to a fucking camera by myself for 2-3 hours. Like I'm gonna feel like a crazy person, right? And then
Right.
lo and behold, you fucking pop up, hey, trying to do this. I'm like, hell yeah, man. But and that speaks to another thing that we talk about too, is just acting quickly on stuff. And you gotta get out there and get yourself some experience and see how shit goes. And we hopped on a FaceTime. It was like, oh yeah, this is so we got some good shit here going before we even got to recording anything, just off of the call. It's like, yeah, we're gonna do some shit here.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I thought that was a cool story we should share. I really think that'll help people and inspire people, because there's a lot of people just sitting around just like, I don't should I do this, or maybe next week. Let me tell you something. There's no such thing as a perfect time to do anything, right? You just either you just do it or you don't. There's no perfect time. Oh, when my next check come in, or when this happens, or when this happens, then I'll do it. Then I'll do it. Nah, when the universe speaks to you, you jump out and you fucking do it. But that's another point we'll come into the when we get into the show, and that has something to do with religion for me, right? And spirituality and the universe talking or whatever. But let's get into the show, man. I know I ramble, man. That's what I do, man. But
Nah,
it's
this
a,
is
it's
a
a
this is a good thing, because we should circle back to this specifically, because
yeah.
exactly what you were saying about there not being a perfect time, and I have a lovely point for some people on here. So we'll circle back to this, but yeah, let's do the intro thing. Come up with that title like you do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, there's a method to my madness, man. I'm a madman, but there's a method to it. You heard? Yes, sir. So you kind of you throughout the week, you always sending me good points and good little things to jot down and stuff like that, and I find it very interesting. And so I'm gonna name this particular pod. Not I was gonna name it "Loyal to a Fault," right?
Mm.
I'm not gonna name it that. I'm not going to do it. Check, erase that. I'm going to name it Loyal to Your Fault. That's what I'm going to name it.
Okay, so first and foremost, how is the throwaway name better than most shit that people will come up with anyway? But that not loyal to your fault, yeah, that's fire.
Hey, man, I do this shit, man. I don't know about nobody else, but I do this shit, man. I do this shit. This is what I do, right? This is what I do. This is what you do. Man. So you good at what you do, and I'm good at. That's why we make a good team, man. Good
That's a
partnership.
motherfucking
Yes.
fact.
So yes, loyal to your fault, right? So let me explain, right? Let me dive deeper, and Jason to take it. He'll slam dunk the alley oop, of course. But so loyal to your fault. This is how I look at shit, right? So everybody you come across in this world, right, will be probably embody or be the epitome of the word loyal, right? Everybody you come across, oh, I'm loyal, I'm loyal, I'm loyal. But that's just a word, right? That's just a fucking word. But when it comes to the action of loyalty, that's when it gets a little murky, right? We both know that. That's when it gets a little murky, right? So I believe loyalty loyalty is not a collection of streetwise phrases you string together, right? Just to be a real ass nigga, or whatever the case may be. Like loyalty is an action, right? A service that is provided to those who earned it or deserve it. Loyalty isn't something you can selectively use, especially if you're going to gain my trust. You can't just selectively choose when you want to be loyal. Um, if your loyalty can be compromised by anything, I can't trust you, right? And this is where people might disagree. Because sooner or later, your disloyalty it'll rear its ugly head sooner or later. To me, right? Let me give you an example, Jay. So, or let me ask you a question, and then you could circle back and answer it. Um, can you be considered loyal if you haven't double crossed me as of yet? If you haven't double crossed me as of yet, but you stab your wife, your girl, your partner in the back constantly, right? So, oh wait, yeah, right. Interesting question. So many of us, many men probably will say, that's not the same thing, man. That's a loaded question. It's an unfair comparison, right? A lot of men say that. That's cool, but that's how I look at it, right? If you can cross, if you can cross the person you eat, sleep, house, in bed with, if you can cross that person, then sooner or later, those same qualities might display themselves in our friendship. That's how I look at it. Some other people might look at it differently. I would love to get your insight on this particular take.
So I actually completely agree with you in that. I'm of the belief that if you'll cross somebody, then you will cross anybody. So maybe you might have friends that you consider closer, and the bar for you to do so might be a bit higher, but that doesn't mean that it's not there. It still happens to exist. You just haven't come across anything that's worth you crossing that line as of yet. But if you're willing to throw away or risk your relationship with your girlfriend, wife, partner, baby mama, whatever the fuck it is that you would like to quantify that as, just for some other random bitch that you're probably never going to see again, then imagine you have a price on every single relationship, right? Like your friendships mean so much to you up until you hit a certain point. Maybe it's a dollar amount, maybe it's some other random woman, maybe it's an opportunity, whatever the case may be. But just because that thing hasn't presented itself yet, it doesn't mean that it won't present itself at some point in time. And I'm a big believer, and we've talked about this a lot. Most things are pretty black and white. There's no degrees of loyalty. You're either a loyal person or you're a disloyal person. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's degrees of disloyalty, but there are not degrees of loyalty. That's a
Loyalty.
you are this or you are not this. If you lie to some people, then at some point you will lie to all people. If you are willing to cross some people, at some point you will cross all people. If you go behind some people's backs, you will go behind all people's backs. That's just the way that is. Like how you do anything is how you do everything. If you conduct yourself poorly in certain relationships, you will conduct yourself poorly in all relationships. Again, the bar might be higher for you to do so, but it's still there. And the existence of the bar is the problem.
All right. Well, I totally agree with that. Most men will not agree with us, right? And that goes into the yeah. They're not going to agree with that. What do they call us? We simping, or what is the word for it? Is simping or whatever.
They
Here's
have this
my
weird
yeah
shit with that. We'll go to the simple thing later. That's weird though. But we go to that in a minute.
yeah. We can get to that because that's weird to me. See, my thing is if you could be weak for anything, you could be weak for everything, right? So I was never weak for anything, whether it be sex or I would say the only thing I was weak for is for being successful. I wanted to be something in my life, so I was weak for that. Like and I wouldn't consider that weak. I would consider that awfully fucking strong, and so and I'm not saying I ain't make no mistakes, right? So I've made a ton of mistakes, especially with women, tons of them. But then at some point, when do you start to learn from those mistakes, right? So that's where I started. Our ideologies start to differ when it comes to me and other men. Okay, we've made mistakes. I made mistakes when I was young. I've had 3 and 4 girlfriends at one time. I've done that. Um, and I've learned that that's not conducive to success. That's just that was my big thing, right? That was my big thing. It's not conducive to me getting to where I want to go in life. That's all it was, right? So what I learned and studying people that's successful, and It's hard to put a barometer on success, but we'll try. Let's just use money because it's easy, right? So putting a barometer. Yeah, let's use money. We'll use money because it's simple. So studying people with money, I've learned that they like or they thrive off simplicity, right? The simpler, the better, right? There's some millionaires that they know what they're going to wear for the week, right? They know what they're going to wear. They go in the closet, the same thing, right? They know what they're going to eat. They know what they're going to wear. They know what shoot. They don't have to decide these little things that we decide on, that we spend minutes and hours throughout the day. They're not doing that, right? So if you add 4 girlfriends to that equation, you're what the fuck? What else are you doing? Like, and let's keep it real, right? So if you've had this for the dudes that's really done anything, if you've had 4 girlfriends, you know that shit is fuck. It's not. What's the good? What are you getting good out of that? Right? It's a waste of time. That's what it is. It's a waste of time. It's not conducive to success. If you want to be successful, you pick a partner and you keep it moving. Right? I'm not saying that you ain't got to. That's not being a simp, man. That's not being a simp. That is if you look at the percentages of, and like I said, success, we're gonna use money. If you look at the percentages of people with money, a substantial amount of money, like in the millions, tens of millions, these people have a partner, one partner, right? If they fucking up, they fucked up after. If they got their money, then they start fucking up. Y'all motherfuckers, I got 3, 4 girlfriends, but you ain't got no money, man. You ain't successful, man. You ain't make a dent in this world. You ain't make a dent in this world, man. I don't give a fuck how many girlfriends you got. That's not the dent. That's not the dent I'm trying to make. Unless you're trying to be Don Juan or DeMarco or some shit. I don't get it. And like I said, we all made mistakes, but we all have to learn from those mistakes. So at this ripe age, I'm gonna go ahead and throw my age out there. This ripe age of 46 years old. What the fuck would it look like me having 5 girlfriends right now and no money, right? Or I haven't made an impact. I haven't done or even begun to do the things that I was put on this earth to do, but I got 4 to 5 girlfriends. Put it to you. I'll put it to you like this, man. I look at it like this. I rap. I rap for money, right? I rap for money. I rap to be successful, and this is the way I make my dent in the world. So if I if I look at each rap as money, which I do, I look at each rap I write as money. If I have other things to do with, like, girlfriends, if I have other girlfriends or 7 girlfriends, and I got to look at text messages, and I got to worry about if this girl wants something to eat, or this one has to do this, or this one has to do this one, how many rhymes am I not writing? How much, like, where's my impact coming from? I'm losing impact, and I'm not here to lose. So by all means, if you're winning with your 4 to 5 girlfriends, continue, man. That's just not the way I'm doing my shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm successful by being simplistic. I know what the fuck I'm gonna eat every day before I eat it. That's me.
So just for reference, in reference to the loyalty thing with the 4 or 5 girlfriend, there's a difference between having a bunch of secret women and not knowing that don't know about each other and juggling a bunch of shit and being a polygamist. I'm not saying I'm a polygamist. I'm not supporting polygamy or anything. I'm just saying it's a vastly different thing. But most people aren't
Agreed.
in position to do the second thing. Like, that might sound lovely and amazing to all of you motherfuckers, but you're not in the position that you could actually facilitate that. monetarily, if absolutely nothing else. But the point is, all of that shit at the end of the day, especially if you're not where it is that you want to be, or at least very far along the path to getting there, is nothing but distractions. Because exactly like you said, for every single text message, as you said, it's a rhyme that you could be writing. It's a, or whatever it is that you do. It's a
Mm-hmm.
stock that you could be trading, or a crypto that you could
Mm-hmm.
be investing in. It's a house that you could be flipping. It's a fucking insurance policy that you could, whatever your fucking business is. Every single text message that you do for that is something that could be growing you. It's a session at the gym. It's all of that. Like, you have a finite time here, and most people squander that shit just chasing momentary pleasures. Like, it's with the women, or they want to go to the club, or you want to get drunk, you want to fucking get high, you want to do whatever it is that's just going to make you feel good in the moment. But none of that is building you into the person that, not only that you want to be, but if we're being honest, who it is that you are supposed to be. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
believe that everyone is here for a reason. Everyone could do something impactful and meaningful if they so chose to dedicate their time to doing that and dedicate themselves to doing that. But you are robbing not only you, but all of your loved ones and the entirety of the world of what it is that you could be doing when you start focusing on all of this other shit. Just trying to pass the time and escape from the moment, and do what's going to be the most pleasurable right now. Like, it's not always about right now. And eventually all of those nows are going to add up, and all of the tomorrows that you thought that you had, that you opted to, well, I'm going to do this work tomorrow because I want to go see this girl right now, or I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow because I got to take this girl out to breakfast, or whatever the case may be. Eventually you're going to run out of these tomorrows, and you're going to look back and see that you just fucked your life off doing a bunch of insignificant nothing shit that wasn't even rewarding outside of the moment. Like, there's, like,
Mm-hmm.
going out and getting drunk. The next day you feel like shit. If you're just hooking up with a bunch of random girls, that's only enjoyable until you're done. Like, once you're done, it's like, there's a point of this. This was a huge waste of fucking time. Like, I
Yeah.
could be doing so
Always,
many other things. So
always.
yeah, it's never, it's very short sighted, and again, it's selfish as fuck for so many reasons.
Ye- Yeah, I'm glad that you brought up the point when you first started your soliloquy. I'm glad. I'm glad you brought up that point. But the difference between sneaking around like a little weasel and polygamy, yeah, it's two different things, bro. Like, you're not, like, you're just sneaking. First of all, you can you a grown ass man hiding your phone and shit, and like, first of all, to live like that, to live like the feds are on your back 24 hours a day, and you got to watch where you leave your phone, and you got to watch who's calling you, and change your number and changes, and you're peeking around
Who's gonna
corners, you're
see
going
me when
to,
I go to the store?
yeah, shit like that. You going to a restaurant, you're ducking, and like, that ain't no way to live, man. That ain't no way to live, man. As a man, if you're a man, right, you do man things, right? So, first of all, a man is honest. I'm not even, like you said, I'm not agreeing with polygamy or whatever. I don't care. Like, that's not what I do. That's not my bag. But I don't knock it, especially if you're being honest. Like, yo, listen, man, I'm about to go pick homegirl. You riding too? I'm gonna pick up homegirl. She got a sister. I'm gonna ride with her too. I'm doing all three of you, and y'all gonna like it. Okay. Now, if you if you that guy, I got no words for you. I got no words for you, bro. You, hey man, do your thing, man. This ain't for you. This ain't for you. And you successful, and you're making a dent in this
It's
world,
not
and
for
you're
you
doing,
if you're successful. See, that's the key right
yes,
there.
yes. If you're successful, you making it. You are doing everything you are supposed to do on this planet Earth that you were put here to do, and on top of that, you got homegirl. I'm picking homegirl Letitia up. Then back when after that, I'm going to pick her sister up, and then the back. Yeah, if you're doing all that, fine. This ain't for
Honestly,
you. Honestly, you're not hiding like a little weasel, right? You doing your thing. Like, hey man, listen, this is what the fuck I do, man. All right, cool. I got no words for you, man. But carry on. No, that's not my bag though. But carry on and shit.
for the other people though,
For the other
yeah,
people.
that's the way to be running around. And you know what? This wasn't even a point, but I want to extend this
uh,
here because there is a very a lot of overlapping similarities between doing that type of shit and doing nefarious activities out in the world. And
Mm.
in 2025, this is not the early 2000s, this is not the 90s. There are so many things that you could be doing that you have zero excuse to be standing on the corner selling fucking fentanyl or whatever the fuck it is that people sell nowadays. You have apps. This is not then. All of that. Well, I had no other option. Shit does not fly now. There are 14-year-olds making millions of dollars online because they
Word.
watch other people's songs and react to it. There are high
Word.
school students making hundreds of thousands of dollars trading cryptocurrencies. There are high school students making millions of dollars fucking with AI. There is absolutely no fucking excuse to be sitting there risking your life and your freedom to make a couple dollars on the fucking corner. I don't care how much money you're making on the corner. You can do that legally and much more peacefully
Absolutely.
nowadays. I know
Absolutely.
that wasn't the point, but it seemed pertinent to throw out there.
Nah, that's that. Nah, I felt that. I felt that because it's fucking true, man. But that brings me to this point or this thought, right? And it's with distractions, right?
Mm.
And I was just having this conversation with my wife. Sometimes she gets easily distracted, and I say, listen, that's on purpose, right?
Mm.
Um, and we always bring up drifters. We always bring up drifters, always. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get into my little drifter soliloquy, man, because because you have to be able to identify a drifter, right? So I'm talking to my wife, and I don't. It's tough because it's personal, so I don't want to use no. I just want to. You got to tiptoe around this one. Um, but let's just say a distant relative is like, "Hey, man, I'm trying to do this, man. Y'all got time for me?" And my wife's like, "Hey, sure." And I'm like, wait. How many times? How often do we see this person? Oh, we don't. They don't come. Why is this person aimlessly bumping into us right now? Right? And I talked about the universe earlier. The universe will continue to test your ass and continue to send drifters your way because what drifters do, right? They drift around aimlessly with no direction. And so my wife thinks that it's not on purpose. It might not be on purpose, right? They're not purposely trying to distract you from your fucking greatest of accomplishments. They're not there to do that, but they are there to distract you because if and I'll explain it in a drifter, right? Perfectly now, the way I explained to her. If you're walking around in the street, right, and you see somebody just wandering around aimlessly, they might bump into you. They might bump into you because they have no direction. They're just aimlessly walking the fuck around, not looking where they're going, and they bump into you. And when they bump into you, they don't mean to bump into you. They just bump into you because they don't know where the fuck they're going. Right? So that's life. These people they're not malicious. Oh, it's not malicious. I never said it was malicious. It's not malicious. It's just what they were put here to do, to distract you, right? Because they have no aim and no direction. Right? So you have to be able to identify this. And it always happens. The universe always sends you a drifter when you are trying to be at your utmost focus point. When you are trying to be the most focused you are trying to be in life, like, this is going to be the week I get it all together. That's when the universe will send you your drifter and test you and see if you can evade this person aimlessly trying to bump into you and redirect you from your current path, right? The path that you were just about to go on. You were just about to go on this journey. Oh, this week, right? Let me give you an example. This week, I'm gonna start my weight loss journey, right? I'm gonna start my weight loss journey. I'm gonna not drink this week. I'm gonna no weed this week. Though this week, this the week I started all right. Guess what happens, Jay? I think you know what happens. This the week. What do you think the universe does? Send
Everything in
you
the
your
fucking world pops up.
yeah. Send you that drifter. Hey man, what you doing this week? What you doing this week? And hold on, it's not the drifter that'll drift your ass into the gym. Yo, let's go
Mm-mm.
to. It's not that's not what this drifter does. This drifter doesn't drift your ass in the gym, right?
Mm-mm.
Or
That
drift
drifter
your.
thinks the gym's bad for you.
Yeah, no. What the fuck we gonna do at the gym? What the fuck are we doing there? No, this drifter says this, Jay. You're fine. You look. Oh my god, you look. Oh my god, man, you buff, man, you good, man, you straight, man. Damn, you working out, dog. Damn, you looking good. That's what that drifter said. Oh, you don't, man. What you eat that for? You don't need to eat that. You in shape, dog. You don't. That's what this drifter says, right? So beware of these drifters, because when you are just about to embark on your journey, that's when the universe sends you a drifter. And like we said, like we started the show off, the universe knows, man. If you continuously fail these tests, right? You turn in. Guess what? You turn into a fucking drifter, and you start trying to redirect other people in their path.
Spreading your aimlessness around throughout the world,
It's
just
a disease.
yeah, just knocking everybody else off course. Like you want to talk about pandemics and shit. That's what it really is all these lost motherfuckers out here trying to get everyone else to knock everyone else off track so no one knows where it is that they're going. And it's always the subtle shit, exactly like you said. It's oh, you already buff, or you look good like that, or nah, you deserve this. You've been eating good all week, you know, it's one night. One night won't hurt, or as you work so hard, it's just one drink. It's no big deal. You're already in shape. That's too extreme. Why are you so worried about this? You got to have fun. Life is all about balance and moderation, and it's just all of
Mm-hmm.
that shit that sounds like they really give a fuck about you, but all they're doing is knocking you off of your course because they don't have a course. And nobody hates people to succeed more than people who have spent their whole lives failing, especially if they've known you for a long time, especially
Mm-hmm.
if you've always been the friend that goes out drinking, especially if you've always been the friend that they pass the blunt to, or go out looking for girls with, or sit around talking shit about everybody else. Like, go be the friend in your little gossip circle who decides, no, we don't want to talk about this. We don't want to talk about this negativity. I don't want to talk about these other people. Let's talk about something positive. And then all of a sudden, you're the problem. That's
Oh yeah.
People hate when you try to be better because it reminds them that they're not doing anything with themselves. And as long as they can keep you down there, then they don't have to improve. If they can stop you from climbing, they don't feel like they're wrong for not making the climb themselves. And the sad part is most people fall for it. Like, one of the things that I hear the most is people are afraid of putting themselves out there or doing this because of judgment from other people. Like, they want to start going to the gym, but they don't know what their friends and their family are going to say. Or they want to start X business and do whatever the fuck, but they feel like they're going to get judged for it. But you got to understand, like, that's what those people are there for. They're there to discourage you from doing the better thing, because we've been talking about the universe a lot, and the universe is always going to test you. And one of those tests along your journey is going to be, can you deal with other people trying to pull you in different directions or discourage you from what it is that you are doing? None of the shit comes easy, and that's part of what it is that comes with it. So you have to be somebody who can stand on what it is that you want to do and what it is that your goals are, and becoming the person that you want to be. And you have to know that part of life is you're going to leave a lot of people behind doing that. And that's okay
Yeah.
though, because just because they've been around, it doesn't mean that they need to keep being around. Just because you've known somebody for a long time, it doesn't make them your actual true friend. Just because somebody's related to
No.
you, it doesn't mean that they're your family. Going back to what we were talking about in the beginning, loyalty, that is one of the actions of loyalty. There is the being supportive of the shit that you want to do, especially when you know that you are trying to better yourself. And going even further than that, it's talking you out of not doing the shit that you know that you should do. So when
Yeah.
you tell your fucking friend that you're going to start working out, and you then say you're going to do something else. If your friend actually gave a fuck about you and was loyal to you, he would say, nah, you need to take your punk ass to the gym because you said you wasn't going to be a fat fuck no goddamn more. You said you weren't going to eat those fucking cheeseburgers. You said you was going to
Yeah.
sober up. What the fuck you mean let's go to the club? Maybe I still go to the club, but you said you weren't doing that. So you need to stay your ass to fucking home and stick to your fucking goals that you said. So that's what people who actually give a fuck about you do. Anything less than that is, it might not be direct ill intentions from them, but it is
Right.
absolutely ill intent, whether they mean it that way or
Mm-hmm.
not, because it affects you the same way. Their intentions aren't 100% relevant. It's going to have the exact same effect. They're trying to tear you down, and it is very easy to let them.
Absolutely, man. Well said, man. Absolutely. That's crazy. Nah, you know what? And I think it'll be a great time to because the people don't know this, but it'd be a great time. Well, most people, if they follow Jason Lamar, they'll know. Um, and I find it to be like this guy's a fucking maniac, but I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I love it. You're a fucking maniac. So let for the people who don't know, man, let people know what time you wake. Like I find this to be fucking nuts, but what time do you awake to do your to do your daily duties?
Every single day, regardless of how late I was awake, regardless of how well I did or did not sleep, I get up at 3:53 a.m. and I am doing
what,
push-ups at
what a
3:57
maniac.
a.m. Day in and day out, no the fuck matter what.
You're a fucking maniac. You're a fucking maniac, dog. You see that? No. We gotta harp on this. We gotta harp on this. You're fucking me. But you know what? You know what, Jay? That's what it fucking takes. So
1,000%. It is doing the difficult shit that people. You know what? I'm gonna pause because people say this all of the time. They say getting up early doesn't make you successful, and yes, technically that's fucking true. I can get up at 8 a.m. and do all of the exact same things that I do, but you know what? That's easy to do. What's difficult is for me to get up at 3:53 a.m. every fucking day, because at the very first thing that I do, no matter what, is overcome a challenge. I do some shit that I don't want to do right off the fucking bat. The
yeah,
very first thing I do is unpleasant and I hate it every single time. I never want to get the fuck up, but I do it anyway. It's much easier to get up later on in the day. And again, yes, functionally I could do all of the exact same things, but that mindset right there that says get up when it's easy is rooted in comfort. And at some point that's going to wind up being what prevents you from doing what it is that you need to do. It's not specifically about getting out of bed early. It's about the mindset that says I don't need to get up this early, but I'm going to do it anyway simply because it is unfucking pleasant and I do not shy away from challenges. But all the people who want to be like, well, I can sleep until 12 and then be awake until 6 a.m. And it's the same thing. It's not the same thing because that's what you
no, it
want to
ain't.
do, because that's
Yeah,
the easy thing to do. That is much
yeah,
easier. And when you seek out the easy thing, you are making yourself into someone who seeks out easy shit. And the person who seeks out easy shit is the person who makes excuses. The person who makes excuses is the person who didn't get enough sleep so they don't go to the gym. The person who makes excuses is the person who's feeling kind of down today because they're depressed, so they put off their work until tomorrow. The person who does the easy thing is the person who had a hard day, so they go to the bar after work and eat a bunch of fucking cheeseburgers and chicken wings even though they're on a diet. The person who does the easy thing is a fat, poor motherfucker still sitting there whining about why other people are successful when they're not.
talk that shit, man. You making me feel like a goddamn like a fucking pussy.
No,
You
look,
know, I
I'm
don't
not
like
even
that
convinced
shit.
that you ever fucking sleep, because whenever I say some shit to you and it'd be late over here, it'd be way later over there, then I'd be up at fucking 3 a.m. and I'd be like, you already posted shit. I'm like,
Yeah,
God damn, you're
yeah. I
I think
don't
this
sleep
motherfucker
much.
don't sleep, period.
Yeah, I don't sleep much. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't sleep much, but I sleep, but I don't sleep much. I do it. I don't. Yo, I'm a nut. So let me tell you, since we're trading extremes,
Yeah, let's talk about your routine.
since we're trading extremes, yeah. So all right. So one of my crazy routines. Um. So I only eat. Let me see. I gotta be very accurate with this. I only eat four things for the past maybe 3 to 4 years. I've only eaten four things. I only eat four things every day. It's ground beef, steak, chicken, eggs. Eggs. That's it. I don't eat nothing else. Nothing. Nothing. I don't eat nothing else. People think I'm a
Now, see, hold on,
fucking
hold
nut.
on, hold on. See, when you say that though, I feel like people are used to hearing nothing else, and they're like, well, except this, this, and this. So, how do you mean nothing else?
All right, so here's the routine. I wake up. If I'm hungry, and I don't eat a lot, right? On a bad day, on a good eating day, I'll eat 3 times a day, but 3 times that day. But usually, I eat 2 times, right? My first meal will either be before my workout or after, depending on how I feel when I wake up. That meal would be eggs. 90% of the time, that's probably like 6 to 7 eggs every day, right? When I wake up or after my workout. Then that's it. Just eggs. It's fucking eggs. Boiled, scrambled, sunny side up. It don't fucking matter. Egg salad. I don't know what. However you can bake them motherfuckers. However you could come up with the egg. I
A
done came up
baked
with
egg
any
is
way.
nuts.
Nah, yo, I done put that motherfucker in the oven, dog. Like I done did that motherfucker. Yo, I done try the egg every way, right? You gotta try to make these things tasty, right? So all right, so that's my morning routine. And then for dinner, it'll be chicken or steak. That's it. That's it. Um if I had to guess, it'd be an occasional avocado. That's it. That's it. That's all I eat for the past 3 years. Not you could name anything. Hey, what about this? Do you eat rice? Do you eat this? No, no, I don't eat nothing. Like my wife hates that. She hates it. But guess what? I'm in fucking phenomenal shape. I could punch through a rhino right now. Right? That's what counts. That's what counts. Nah, you laughing, man. Look,
Nah, I'm fucking
hey,
here for it.
hey, man, look, I could wrestle a bear, and the bear might lose, man. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell. Look, I've been watching it. I ain't gonna say it. I was gonna say something. No, you know what? I'm gonna fucking say that shit. You know what, Jay? I'm gonna say that shit. I be watching you rappers punching the punching bag. It's not good, man. It's not good, man. Stop posting them videos of you punching the punching bag like a little girl, man. I don't like that. You look, you ain't got to have the form of Floyd Mayweather, but you have some power. Where's your power? There's no physical strength, no tenacity,
Them
no
little
intestinal
formless
fortitude.
love taps.
Yeah, no, like what the fuck is that, man? Punch that shit like you mean it, man. Like put a hole in something, man. Punch that shit, man. I'll be getting frustrated, but yeah, that's something different. That's something different. But that's my routine. So I stayed as strong as a caveman.
Oh, strong as a caveman is a fire one.
I'm strong as a caveman, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm trying to. I'll be waiting to get into a tussle. I haven't tussled in years, but the last time I had to tussle, look, I'm gonna tell you this quick story and shit. Quick little soundbite, little tidbit on Ransom. The last time Ransom had a physical altercation. This should be good, right? So I was this is not right before the pandemic, right? Right before the pandemic. I wasn't rapping, right? I was working at a label, at a record label. I'm not going to name the record label. I'm just going to say that I was working at a record label, which I was. And so I would take the train there. I wouldn't drive there because it was in New York, and that's just crazy, right? So I would take the train like a fucking maniac. I'm me, man. This is what I do. But me being the superhero that the fuck I am, I can't see people being bullied, and especially women and stuff like that, right?
Mm.
So yeah, long story short, there was some guy. It was late. I was leaving the office, and it was late. and I'm in the train station, right? And there's a woman, a black woman, sitting next to me. Here come this guy, right? He's belligerent. He's a little he's a little drunk and belligerent, right? He comes in, I could tell somebody fucked up when they got a tank top on and his baggy. He had the baggy tank top. He was a baggy tank top drunk. Shit was, how it should just be sagging, like sagging, like this. So the
Yeah,
tank
just got
top,
the little swoop down more on one side
yeah,
than the
yeah.
other.
So he's been in a couple physical altercations minutes within, right? So somebody tugged on that shit or previously in the day. So I'm like, and me being from where I'm from, I already know. Jay, I already know. He walking, he's loud, he's belligerent. I already know. I'm like, fuck. I'm sitting next to the lady. He sits right, he sits down next to the lady. He starts screaming, fuck, man, fuck, fuck. Right? So he says something hilarious. You're gonna fucking love this shit, right? So the lady says, could you stop screaming in my ear? This motherfucker says, you don't fucking own the sound. You don't own sound waves. He said this shit to her. He
Yo,
said,
that's a
you don't
fucking
own the
fact, but it's a hilarious ass weird thing to say. What the
yo.
fuck?
This motherfucker said, you don't own the sound waves. Right. So I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get away from this. I get it. Look, I'm trying to avoid trouble. I get up and I walk off. Right. But now I see that the lady's a little, she's a little flustered, to say the least. So I step in and I say, hey man, just cool out, man. He said, well, who the fuck are you? I was like, fuck. It's over, man. It's over, man. So he just rushes me. You know, drunk baggy tank top dudes. He rushed me. I beat him up. So but I was I felt in great physical shape, and when I grabbed him, he felt so weak in my hands, and I just like crumbled him up like a little piece of paper and shit. He was just so weak in my grasp. I'm just like. So I'm like, oh shit, like this guy's fucking, and this is a grown man we're talking about. Grown ass, I just crumbled him, right? So I crumbled him so bad he's on the floor, and I called my wife. And while he's on the, I said, she's like, what's going on? I said, motherfucker, you don't get up. I'm talking to my wife, and she needs to hear this. She needs to hear this. And long story short, he gets up. He was getting on the same train as we was getting on. I said, no, you got to get the next train. You got to get the next train. Because I just beat you up. FYI though, FYI, in the next day, the age, I was in my 40s. It was only it was, 4 years ago. So it was like 40. I was like 40, 41, 42, whatever. The next day, dog, I was in so much fucking pain. I felt like I lost the fight, bro. Like I'm talking about every bone in my body ached. I'm like, what the fuck? What happened? Like, so long story short, fellas, stay physically fit and have physical altercations. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? If I was in bad shape, this dude could have washed me, man. This guy was a grown ass, big ass man with a baggy tank top. I crumbled him. And yeah, okay. The next day I was a little fucked up. It don't matter. I handle my business when it happens. So stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Right? Be physical and don't fucking lift weights to have abdominals and fucking and your pecs popping out. Yo, train to live. Right? Train to live. Like if you have to be able to lift the fucking car off a fucking baby, you better be able to do it. Train to live, man.
Moral of the story, go to the fucking gym, eat some goddamn protein, and stop drinking, especially on the subway, apparently, like a fucking crazy person, because bad shit happens to you.
Hey Jay, you don't own the fucking sound waves, dog. You just don't own them, nigga. Don't stop. Hey Jay, you don't own the sound waves.
Don't own
Stop
the fucking
trying to
sound
own
waves, man. It's yeah. You don't got
You
a
don't
patent
own
on
them.
that shit.
But look,
But see, hold on though. This is hold up. This is what having a routine gets you, right? Because imagine it would have went the other way. You try to step in and help the lady and just get the shit smacked out of you, and now you just fucked up. And
Man,
then now you all on World Star or some shit talking about fucking Ransom got
that would have
knocked
been
out on the
bad.
subway.
That would have been bad, dog. That would have been bad,
But
dog.
that's what happens
I,
though. This is why you do the shit that you don't feel like doing
yeah,
in the moment, so that you are prepared for life, because shit can happen at any point in time. Like, it's not even just always physical altercations or some shit. You never know what might happen. Maybe your kid runs out into the street, or your fucking dog
word.
runs away, or I don't know, you see somebody falling off of a ladder in a store. I don't know what the fuck goes on. But shit happens, man. You gotta be prepared for life. You should be able to move through life with freedom of mind and body, and be able and capable to do things. I'm not saying everybody gotta be a fucking power lifter or a bodybuilder or
No,
fucking Mike Tyson, but you should be able to
right.
handle yourself in general basic situations. You should have some sort of ability to survive. Like, if you look at
Yeah.
most people exist purely because no one else has tried to change that fact. You can
Ooh.
see the majority of people walking through the world, and you can
Ooh.
tell that not only have they never been in an altercation, but in any altercation that they wind up in might be the last thing that ever takes place for them. And they are, again, alive by the grace of the laws existing. So
That was
don't be one
crazy,
of these
Jay.
people. Don't be some fucking victim waiting to happen.
That was crazy, Jay. Say that shit again. Hold on, motherfuckers is walking around here alive because people are allowing them to be alive. That's
Because
some
no one
wild
else has
shit.
tried to change that
Yeah,
fact.
that's some
Like,
wild
that's
shit,
the
man.
only reason that they're here. And it's a
That's some
goddamn
wild
shame. All
shit.
these so-called men and shit walking around looking like if they were to get smacked, they might have a heart attack. Like,
That's some wild shit. That's some
absolutely
wild
wild.
shit.
Either for being way too frail or way too fat. Either your fat ass can't handle the shock from getting hit in the face, or your frail ass bones can't withstand the impact.
And I'll go a step further, man. Even mentally, man. Even mentally, man. It's like if you're not those who are not willing to fight, they leave with the blackest fucking eye. I know I've said that before, but you gotta, like you said, you don't gotta be Floyd fucking Mayweather, dog. You just gotta be able and willing. If you are able and willing, you'll be surprised who will be like, you know what? Let me go ahead and go to the next motherfucker. Let me
It
go ahead
is,
and
yeah,
yeah, let me
it's
go ahead
so
and
many
fuck
tough
with that
looking
other
people.
motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Say
because
it again,
people,
Jay.
it's so many tough looking people who actually don't want any degree of alter. Like,
Yeah,
nobody wants to. Like, people don't bully people who are going to fight them back. It doesn't matter if you can
right,
beat up everybody. What matters is
right.
that you're willing to participate in the fight and throw a blow. Like, I'm not saying I could beat up everybody in the world. That's fucking crazy. But I assure you, at no point in time will I've ever be in an altercation the other person was happy that I participated in. If
right,
I'm not
right,
winning, you're not
right,
leaving here pleased. So, like,
right.
that's fine. I'm not saying I can win, but you will not be happy that this took place. I assure you.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
all that you need. But most people aren't willing to do these things, and that's why people wind up in all of these fucked up situations. That's why people run around getting mugged and beat up and shit. Because most people, or the people who do that, know that the majority of people will not put up any sort of a fight to do anything about it.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And I know I might be rambling a bit, but I'm about to get to another thought, and because I was just thinking about when I first started speaking about I forgot what the fuck I was speaking about the
Yeah.
loyalty word, right? My bad, my fucking brain fog. But the fact that I said it's a word, the word, right? And and the reason I say that is because people use words without actions, and that is a pet peeve of mine that I hate, right? Here's an example. Religion. And I
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah, religion. Um and I'll definitely want to get your take on this before we get up out of here. But religion to me is just a word, right? Um Religion, and this is a touchy subject, of course, and I don't want to offend anybody, but if I do, hey, this is just the way I think, right? So to me, religion is just another word. Um, this word is used though. It's used strategically when it can help aid someone else's narrative.
Mm.
right? So let me give you an example. So, all right, I'm gonna put on my fucking voices here. Hey Sarah, why haven't you started your Hey Sarah, why haven't you started your business you've been talking about for fucking 10 years, Sarah? Right? Sarah, you've been talking about this business for 10 years. Why haven't you started this business, Sarah? What Sarah says, right? Oh, it's not in God's plans for me right now. That fits her narrative, doesn't it? All right. So what I would say is, here I go my voice. Hey Sarah, man, why don't you have faith? Right? Have faith, Sarah. Matter of fact, Sarah, quit that motherfucking comfy dead end job at the office. Quit it. Whatever money you have saved, start the fucking business. Have faith. Jump out the window. You'll land on your feet. Believe. What the fuck you think Sarah gonna tell me, Jay? She gonna be like, nigga, you crazy? I'm not quitting my job.
You
That's what the fuck.
tripping.
I'm not quitting my job, motherfucker. That's what the hell she gonna say. So, but look, and it goes both ways. They'll disregard the idea of religion, though. They'll disregard the idea of religion when either they have their back against the wall or it doesn't fit their narrative. Right? So I'll go into my other voices, right? Nah, fuck it. So when COVID went down, when COVID went down, I'm just gonna give you a quick example. When COVID went down, right, and everybody thought hell's fire was raining down on us, and people were like, I know you probably experienced the same thing. People were scared, and they were like, you got to get the jab. Like, you have to get it. Like, family members, friends, you have to get the. So me, and I'm about to use my stupid voice, me being the cynical prick I am, I'm like, hey man, look, me and mine, I'm gonna take care of me and mine. My family, we're healthy, we're in good health. We don't have no underlying, conditions. We eat healthy, and you know what? If all else fails, Jason, God got us. God got us. Guess what happens? Guess what happens to people's religion? Oh nah, there ain't no time for that shit. Ain't no time for that shit right now. Get the jab. Ain't no time for that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. I ain't got no time to hear that shit right now. I don't want to hear about no God right now. Go get the jab. Fuck all that shit. So people use these words, and these words I hate words that have no meaning. That's why I'm not an easy person to talk to. You have to use the right words for me, and you have to mean these words, and they have to be in the right context, and I have to see you actually living these words. Don't tell me that God this, religion this is that, and this and that, but you won't take a leap of faith. You won't do it. I do these things. I took a leap of faith. I said, "Yo, look, man. You know what, man? Fuck all that. I'm finna, I'm finna fucking rap. I'm finna try to do something that I've always wanted to do. I'm gonna just take the risk, right? I'm gonna jump out the fucking window. I'm gonna jump out the window. I've quit jobs. I've quit relationships. I've quit friendships. Right. So I wasn't just using the word of I believe in this power or this energy or this thing in the universe. I actually took the actions and took these leaps of faiths. Like you got this is shit this is the shit you have to do if you want to be successful. You have to sacrifice something. And the words, just by using the words to fit any narrative that you're trying to pull off, that's not gonna get you nowhere. They ain't gonna get you nowhere. They ain't gonna get you. They ain't gonna get you success. They ain't gonna get you money. Ain't gonna get you that new girl, that new car, and whatever you may desire in this world. It ain't gonna get it. You ain't gonna get it like that by talking your words. Especially not to me, because your words don't mean nothing to me. Actions mean everything to me. So I just for y'all people out there, I'm watching you. I watch people, right? I watch you. Your words mean nothing. So for our listeners, for our faithful listeners, whatever faithful listeners we have right now, stop listening to these people's words, friends, family, whoever it may be. Don't listen to the words. Always watch and observe people's actions because it will tell you everything. It will tell you everything. Your fucking overweight friend will tell you what diet you should be on. Don't listen. Stop listening to people's words. Your single homegirl, your single homegirl will tell you how to conduct yourself in your marriage. Stop listening to people. Start watching them. These people are not even good at living their own lives. Why the
At
fuck would I
all.
listen? Why do you listen to these people? That's why I don't talk to anyone. I don't listen to anyone because all these words mean nothing. It's all talk, man.
That's a motherfucking fact. And speaking of this all being taught and going to the religion thing, you are right. This is a sensitive topic, but I'm going to handle it with absolutely zero nuance because I don't give a fuck. So, if you look at statistics, right, then you will see that the vast majority of the world, we'll stick with America specifically, the vast majority of America claims to be some sort of religious. I'm of the belief that there are very few religious people in the world out as a product of action. Just like loyalty is an action and
Mm-hmm.
there are very few loyal people, being religious, being a believer in something is also an action. And you can see this shit on people. If you believed in the God that you claim to believe in and you believe in
Mm.
all of these tenets and practices and principles, it would show up on you. There is absolutely no way that you are walking around as a fat ass claiming that you are devoutly any fucking religion. Any religion will tell you sloth and gluttony are sins. What the fuck is it that you were doing? How do you think you became fat? By being slothy? Fuck it. And gluttonous. By being both of those things. Your very existence is a spit in the face of the God that you claim to believe in. You wouldn't be sitting there lazy doing a whole bunch of nothing if you were truly religious like that. You would be trying to make the best of yourself because A, you would be grateful for the fucking life that you were so graciously gifted out of all of the things that possibly could have happened, the trillions of things that you could have been, the God that you claim to believe in decided to make you at this current time in the world. And you should be making the most of that. Instead, you're using it sitting around binge watching Netflix, talking shit about people online, playing video games, going to the club, getting drunk, and making a whole bunch of excuses and complaining that other people are richer than you, even though you didn't do a goddamn thing. Now, I'm not super well versed in the Bible, but what I do know that the Bible says is God helps those who helps themselves. So all these people want to sit around there with their little prayers and shit, not doing anything. I believe that prayer is action. You're just like
Yeah.
you talk about universal law, right? Like law of attraction, manifestation, all of that is a result of your actions, not just you sitting there asking and shit. Ooh, I want a Bentley. I want a fucking big house. I want a nice family. No, go out and get that shit. And as you take the appropriate actions, God, the universe, will reward you with these things because they see you doing what's necessary to acquire said things. So if any of these people truly believed in any of these things, they would be living their best life. Anyone who is not living their best life, or at the very least on the path to doing that, does not believe in their religion, and they sit there and they cling to this shit about well, God forgives us all. Fuck that. If you really care about somebody, you should not take advantage of their infinite forgiveness. In fact, the
Mm.
more that someone is willing to forgive you, the less things that you should do to forgive them for. I mean, to make them forgive you for, because otherwise you're just taking fucking advantage of people. You're like, oh, you really love me no matter what, so I'm gonna do whatever. Maybe they love you, but you don't fucking love them. And that's the problem there. People are ungrateful, people are selfish, people are entitled, and then they run around the world claiming their guise of religion because you pray and you wear a cross and you bring up Jesus all of the time, then therefore somehow that means you're devoutly Christian. You're not devoutly shit, but a motherfucking shit talker. That's all the fuck it is that you were doing. I'm also of the belief that one of my pet peeves is the people who you will say anything to. What are you doing for lunch today? Oh, I'm talking Jesus. you should go to the gym later. You need to go to Jesus. Like, God damn it, motherfucker. That is the most annoying thing in the goddamn world, because I believe that people do that because they don't truly believe in that shit, and they are trying to brainwash themselves into adopting this belief, and that's why they throw it on everybody. And again, if they truly believed, you wouldn't be doing everyone the disservice of turning people off of that, because that's off-putting as shit. Nobody is going to want to come be a part of what it is that you're doing when this is the only thing that you can ever say about anything. You watching a football game on Sunday? I'm watching Jesus. Like, shut the fuck up. There are other things that you can say, and you don't believe this shit. You're trying to convince yourself of it by trying to convince other people of it. Again, if anyone truly believed in any of this shit, it would show up on them. Like, what's the thing that people say? If people something about if you know God and other people don't know God, live your way in a life so that people know God because they know you. Some variant of that. I probably fucked the quote up a little bit, but that's what you should be doing. You should be living your life in that way. And then when people see you and they're like, man, you have everything together. You're doing all of this stuff. You're a good person. You're a moral person. You're a kind person. You're a reliable person. You're a charismatic, interesting, well-accomplished person. Why? Then that's when you bring up your religious beliefs. I did it all because under the power of God, by the grace of God. That's when you do it. And that's what it is that will convert people like you're so trying to do. Not just slapping them in the face with this obnoxious shit every single fucking chance that you get. But again, they don't actually believe. This is all a fucking facade. All of this is a facade. It's the same thing as these people's crosses are no different than the loyalty tattoos on the necks of the dudes with 9 fucking girlfriends who don't know about each other. Like, is all just for show.
That's so interesting, man. That's so interesting. It's like you can actually, you made a fucking crazy point. Very few people believe, right? Because if you really did believe, there would be more people doing more things.
Leaps of faith.
Yeah, there'll be more people taking leaps of faith because there's only one way. Well, there's a couple of ways you could be something, but we're not talking about luck. We're talking about the average person taking that leap of faith and making something happen. And there's very few people in this world, right? So that just makes me think, man, is this is why you get very few people maybe. Like when you see people do great things, right? And you're like, what the fuck? How the fuck did that person do that? Right? How did that person do that? Well, now if you think about it, I kind of probably think I know how that person did that with utmost belief. Right? He had to have an unwavering, indestructible belief. Right? And how many people actually have that? Not many, right? That's crazy.
Not barely anybody. And that's the
barely
thing.
anybody. Barely anybody.
Yes, that's the thing though. It's the belief. It's the when people want to sit there and talk about this leap of faith shit, right? But then they won't do anything if it doesn't immediately work out. Like, you need to believe in some shit for real to make it happen. Like, the person who goes to the gym every single day, even though they're not seeing results, does so because they deeply believe that will get them in shape. I worked out for years, literally like 2 years and some change before it looked like I worked out. But I went almost every single day because I was like, this will pay off eventually. It worked for them. It will work for me. And I showed up every day because I believed truly in it. Everything that I've ever done or accomplished is because I believed that it would work. And it never did in the fucking beginning. Shit never went how I wanted it to go. Shit never went how I thought that it would. But I stuck with it because I'm like, if I keep doing this, this will work out. That's what faith is. That's what belief is. That's what, again, as a whole, is a conversation for another time. But that's what you sticking with fucking rapping for 26 years is, because you knew this is going to fucking work out. This is the belief. And if you have this and you truly had these religious beliefs, then you would have that belief in yourself, because you would know if you did the thing for long enough, then God will reward you with what it is that you are after. But you can't do these things because you don't truly believe that shit. It's just a bunch of fucking talk. It's just for show. It just sounds good. Like I say all of the time, most people don't believe in God. They believe in hedging their bets. This seems safer to you to say, because what if I'm wrong? You don't want to be wrong. So you say, this is it. But if you really believed it, you would act like it. You would have faith in yourself. You would have belief in yourself. You would be out here trying to move mountains because you believed that if you pushed hard enough, God would help you.
Facts. Look, if you don't, if you take your proverbial leap of faith and you're not scared to death, then that ain't no leap of faith, man.
Nope.
If you're not fucking scared shitless, like damn dog, like I can, if this shit don't work, but it gotta work and it's gonna work. If you ain't scared shitless, then that ain't no leap of faith, man. You don't believe.
Not
Like
even
I
a little
always,
bit.
not even a little bit. I always look. I'm scared of flying. Like I fly. I fly quite often, but I don't like flying. I don't particularly like flying. I'm not. I don't think I'll ever be comfortable with it, but I do it, right? Because it's like, hey, man, I'm a land, man. I might not like it, but I'm a land. I never got why people clap at the end of the flight. I'm like, damn, you ain't what you think we wasn't gonna make it. Like, why the fuck we clapping for? We were supposed to be here, right?
Oh shit, this worked out.
I'm fucked up in the head. I'm like, why the fuck are we clapping? What the fuck? You ain't had no faith, dog? Like, what the fuck? Like, was there a chance? Was there a chance we was gonna die? Like, why are we clapping because we made it? Like, wasn't we supposed to make it? Like, I'll be fucked up. If, I always had like a funny relationship with religion because let me let me ask you what you think about this, right? And I read somewhere that I read an interesting little paragraph. I forgot what book it was. I read a lot, so I don't know what book it was, but it said something to the fact that basically history is written by the victorious, right? So, and I think it was Outwitting the Devil. I think it was Outwitting the Devil, right? So history is written by the victorious. So when these wars are waged and won, right, and you take over this land, whether it be America or wherever the fuck is, we take over this land, right? Whoever wins the war, whoever's victorious, gets to implement their schooling and their religion and their thought process and their ideologies and the curriculums of the school. They get to implement what they want. They won the war. They get to kind of choose what you think and what you believe in. The people that's in the village, and if you didn't believe, or the village or the town, whatever the take over, if you didn't believe in these things, you were forced to believe in them, or you would die, right? And from generation to generation to generation, history is always going to be written by the victorious. So whatever religion you may believe in, or whatever ideology or whatever education you might be hanging your hat on, just remember that history is written by the victorious. Somebody had to implement these ideologies and these thought processes onto you at some point, right? So what do you think about that quote? That quote is specifically that quote. History is written by the victorious.
So I'm not a religious scholar by any means, but from my understanding, a large part of what has been written that people know as the Bible, or what is now what people know as the Bible, has been left out and removed, and it's been kind of reformed to fit certain narratives, right? And I think that what people are left with now, and again, this is not a knock to the idea of Christianity as a religion or Jesus's teachings or anything along those lines, but what people are left with now is more so a tool of control than anything. Because if you look at certain parts of it, right, where they say stuff like, it's easier for a camel to walk through the eye of the needle, a needle, than it is for a rich man to get into heaven. And that's just that's why people sit there and take stuff like that, and they have this idea that if you're rich, you're somehow inherently evil, and that discourages them from, again, wanting to make money. Because we talked about before, a lot of people act like they're good because they don't have money, like there's some sort of nobility in their poverty. And I think stuff like that just continues to push the narrative, or the sayings like the meek shall inherit the earth. I said something the other day
Hmm.
on Instagram, and someone popped up under my
Hmm.
shit and with such fervor and vigor said, God does not like arrogant people. He loves weak people because of whatever. I'm like, why do you think that? Why is it that you would believe some shit like that? And it's because, again, stuff like
That's
this, the meek
crazy.
shall inherit the earth, right? So you sit there, you tell people this is the way. So you get people to fall in line with the stuff, right? Because it's like, well, no, you have an ego. You are being prideful in some capacity, therefore you are committed, you are sinning, and God does not like that. But to say that the apparently, okay, so God created everybody in the world, right? He created everyone in his image. Why would he not want you to think highly of yourself? Like, imagine having a son and being like, yeah, you're basically me, but you're less than me, you suck. Like, why would you want your kid to think that? That's absolute fucking insanity, right? If we're made in his image, why would we not see ourselves as godly too? That's directly contradictory to the rest of the shit. Or, and again, and when people like to throw out words, and I'm just like you, I hate when people just throw out words without any real regard for the meaning. Like, if you look at humble, it means to think less of yourself or act
Ah,
less than.
I
Why
hate
the
that
fuck do you want
word.
to be humble? People say humility is a good thing. Humility is a variant of humiliate. No one wants to be
Yeah.
humiliated, but everyone thinks that they should have humility. It's the
Yeah.
same thing. This is
Yeah.
nonsense concepts that people don't think through. In the same way that if you are proud, then you are also doing something worthwhile. Like, I am proud when I accomplish things. I am proud when I approach a difficult situation that I can talk myself out of and I get through it anyway and do what it is that I'm supposed to do. I'm proud when I'm able to help my mother have a better life or help my sister out. Like, these things make me proud. And this is a large part of the reason that I decide, or that motivates me to continue doing things, is because I like to be proud of myself. And you want other people to be proud of you. You know, your kid goes to school and they get good grades on a test. You're like, man, you work so hard. I am proud of you. So people don't really follow these beliefs that they have through. But the point is, going back to the other thing about the history being written by the victorious, absolutely, I agree. And I think that religion is kind of wound up now, especially the Christian Bible, is wound up being more so a tool of control than anything else. And people don't think these things through, again, because you have people running around with all seriousness talking about God hates strong people. Like, what? That's an insane thing to think. And but people don't ask these questions, because part of what it is that you're taught is to not ask questions. Like, part of what they call having faith is you just blindly accepting things whether they make sense to you or not, and they frame that you not understanding something and then questioning it is a sin or some degree of blasphemy, so people are discouraged from it. And I think that that's just a way of keeping people in line with, again, history being written by the victorious. We came over here, we took this shit over, and now you are going to do what it is that we want. You are going to follow our rules, and you are going to believe the things that we want you to believe. And of course, what we want you to believe is what serves us most, because we don't want you rebelling. We don't want you thinking about what we're doing. We don't want you getting greedy and whatnot. So you have this little playbook here, these little guides to keep you down there at the bottom, not overly concerned with what it is that we're doing, because we've told you that what happens here doesn't really matter, because none of this stuff is important. So if your life sucks now, that's fine. But if your life sucks now, it will be good after you die. It will be good forever. But if your life's good now, it will probably suck after you die. It will probably suck for forever. And people just eat that shit up and they just go along with it. And it's ridiculous.
Shit crazy. Something you said, right?
Yeah.
Um uh the humble part. Man, man, oh man, oh man.
Yep.
Do people want you humbles, right? So, and I totally agree with you. I totally, and this, and I always thought this. I always thought this to myself. I've never really been the humble. I've never really been humble. I've never been humble, not really. I've never been humble. Um, I always say this: people that say, "Oh, you should humble yourself." Why should I humble myself? So you can feel better about yourself, right? That's what I believe. So you want me to humble myself so you can feel better about yourself. To me, that's the definition of that when you say, Ransom, yo, man, you should be a little humble. Why? Right? So I'll say this. No, for real. I'm going to say this. And I'm going to say it, and I've probably said it. People have heard me say it before, but I'm going to say it live on our show. Me, in my opinion, I believe I'm the one of the greatest rappers ever. Like I believe I'm probably the greatest rapper ever. That's what I believe. I don't care what anyone else believes. Right. So when I would say things like that, that's why a lot of rappers probably don't mess with me because I will say it to a nigga. I'll say it to a motherfucker face like, "Yo, I'm the greatest. I'm just the." That's what I believe. I just blind. You talking about blind faith? That's what I believe. Now, by me saying that I'm the greatest, does not mean that you're not the greatest, right? If I'm telling you what I believe in for me, that's not a knock on you. Why do people automatically think that when you bigging yourself up or not bigging yourself up or you saying something, they think it's a knock on them? Like, yo, man, look, I'm the great. Like you ask me, yo, man, who you listen to? I listen to myself. I love me. I love my shit. I don't listen to nobody's shit. I listen to my shit and my shit only. I think I'm the greatest rapper that ever lived, ever. There's nobody better than me. That's what I think. I don't want you to think that. It's just what I think. That's what I believe in my heart, right? Oh, you should be humble. Why? Why should I be humble? Why do you want me to humble myself? To make you feel better. But I'm not trying to knock you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking you. I'm talking about me, man. You should believe it now. If somebody walked in the room and said, "Hey, man, I'm the greatest," I'd be like, "Oh, that's what's up." The fuck, yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. You are supposed, ain't you? Aren't you supposed to think like that?
Motherfucking right, you were supposed to think like that. Like
Okay,
if you because
okay,
here's the thing: if this is what people don't understand because they don't believe shit. But when you truly believe that you're the best, you will automatically work to make that come true. Like it's when you're like, oh, I'm okay. I'm kind of all right. You're going to work to be the most okay. Like, but when you believe that you're the best, you're going to do what it takes to be the best. And maybe you won't be that to everybody else, but that's perfectly fucking fine. Like, everyone doesn't need to
hey,
think these
Jay,
same things.
Jay, Jay. What you just said right there, you need to stop right there. What you just said right there, what the motherfuckers be doing? Oh, I'm okay at it. They want affirmation. They want you to affirm what they're not powerful enough to say. So they want you to say it for them. Oh, I'm okay. Nah, man, you great. You think
You
so?
amazing.
You think so, man? Yeah, man, you got this, man. Yeah, maybe I do, man. Man, fuck that weak shit, man. I'm glad you said that. That's weak shit.
As fuck.
You just want someone else to lift you up. You want somebody else to lift you the fuck up. But you saying, I'm okay. I'm all right. That's not humble, dog. That's weakness.
That's see that right there. People confuse that shit. Like people sit there and you confuse being humble with not having shit to be proud of. Those are two very different things. You're not, this isn't you having humility, this is you lacking confidence. Those are not the same thing. You haven't done anything worth bragging about. That's why you feel uncomfortable bragging. That's why you feel
Right.
uncomfortable lifting yourself up and saying I'm the greatest, because you don't believe that shit, because you haven't done what it takes to make yourself feel like the greatest. You haven't done anything to make yourself feel like you're anybody worthwhile. So when you hear other people say that, people get mad at that shit because it triggers their own little insecurities. Like,
Yeah.
how dare you think that you're amazing? I don't think that I'm amazing. And people, like you said, they take that
Right.
shit personally because most people compare themselves to everyone else around them, right? You see the other people, this person's taller than me, this person's in better shape than me, he dressed better, he got more money, whatever the fucking case may be. So when they hear you say an objective thing about yourself, they're assuming that you're also comparing yourself to them. And I try to explain all of
Right.
the time, I don't live in a world of comparison. I am my scale. Everything exists on that. Like when people want to talk about, to me, I'm not tall. I'm not short. I'm my height. Some people are higher than me. Some people are less. Like, I'm not
Right.
any of these things. I'm just me. I'm not putting myself on your scale, but everyone wants to put themselves on everyone else's scale and be like, well, I've fallen short of that person. No, fuck that. This is my shit. This is my world. People fall short of me or they are at a place where I'm not at yet. But either way, I will get there. Then they'll fall short of me on my fucking scale too. Because that's what you're supposed to think about yourself, because the person who thinks that shit about themselves is the only person who's ever going to accomplish some great shit in the world. You're not going to go through life thinking that you're a loser and do something great. When you go through life thinking that you're a loser, all you're ever going to do is loser shit. When you go through life thinking that you're average or okay or just like everybody else or whatever, you're going to be average, okay, and just like everybody else, which again makes you a fucking loser, because everybody's a goddamn loser, because they're running around talking about they want to be humble and don't have an ego and all of this shit. Like, having an ego is only a problem if you lack self-awareness. But for me to
Hmm.
say I'm great and then go out and work to prove to myself that I'm as great as I claim that I am is an amazing thing. That is an amazing
Hmm.
motivator, because I want to look at myself as great, but I also have the self-awareness to say, hey, you're not great yet, so keep fucking going until
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah. I'm not fucking delusional, man. Like nobody's delusional,
That's the
and
thing.
yeah, nobody's delusional. You know what? Most of y'all motherfuckers need a little bit of delusion, but not the other delusion. Like I'm not fat, I, not that type of not that type of
I'm
delusion.
big boned.
Yeah, I'm not fat. I'm big boned. Gravy's good for you, like shit like that. That's fucking delusion. I'm not talking about that type of delusion. I mean the delusion of, man, listen, man, I could do whatever the fuck I want to do at any time, and I'm going to go do it, and I'm going to be great at it. Right? You should have that type of delusion. If you're going to have any delusion at all, it should be the delusion of, hey man, I am the greatest thing that ever since sliced bread, man. That's just that. That's what I think. So you should have that type of delusion, not the other kind. The delusion, oh, yeah, I'm okay. You just look for somebody. I don't like a motherfucker that look for pats on the back. Um, that right there, because
I'm in okay shape. I'm doing all
yeah,
right. I'm
yeah.
doing good, but
What you
nothing
want me to
like
say,
you.
dog? Yeah, what do you want me to say, dog? What do you want me to say? Because if you do that, if you bring that shit to me, don't bring that shit to me. Because if you be like, yo, man, I'm okay, I'll be like, nah, you ain't even okay, man. You're in horrible shape. I'm gonna tell you some real shit. Don't look for no pats on the back from me. Cause I don't pat on the back. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Hey man, motherfucker hit me, sometimes I get beat, motherfucker DM me, right? Yo, listen to my raps. Sometimes if I got the time, if I got the time, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Some dude, DM me, yo man, be brutally honest. Yeah, okay.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this thing, I've been doing this for some time now, you know what I'm saying? I'm all right though, Don't be looking for no pat on the back from me. I listen and I said, man, you need to get it. Don't do this. Stop. Quit. Don't rap. That's my honest opinion. Don't do it no more. It's not for you. Okay? You're not getting no pat on the back from me, man. Yeah, just touch up your little flow and you be all right, dog. Like, nah, fuck that. You stink.
you suck.
You stink. Now, either you could take that, look, either you could take that and try to manifest that and use that shit as fuel for the fire and go be great. Hey, man, be my guest. I'll be your fuel. I'll be your fuel. But what I'm not going to do is be somebody that's going to pat you on the back. I'm not going to do that. So don't look for it over here. That's not what we're going to do.
It's not even fucking helpful to anybody. Like,
It's
this shit,
not.
you're doing good just like you are. Everything's fine. You're beautiful as you are. No, the fuck you're
No,
not.
you're not.
Like,
No,
this
you're
is this
not.
is this is these bullshit little ass narratives, and I see people with these stupid little videos they make all of the time in their fruity ass little soft voices talking about, I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're not a burden.
Oh,
Yes, the fuck you are. Like, maybe you are a fucking burden. Maybe that's why you feel like you're a fucking burden. Has it ever occurred to you, or with this? I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're worthy. If you need to hear that you're worthy, you're not fucking worthy.
Worthy,
People just want
man.
this stupid little feel good shit. No, sometimes you need to accept that you suck. You are a failure. You are a burden. You're not worth shit. Your life sucks because you fucked it up. And what? Are you going to do something about it? You're going to sit there and keep crying about it like a little bitch because that's what got you to where it is that you are now. And you just want to feel good about it. And then you go walk around with some random dickhead patting you on the back, talking about you're not a burden, and then you're going to be confused as to why everybody thinks you're way too much to handle. And you're going to be like, well, it's not me, it's everybody else. No, the fuck it's not. It's you. You suck, and you need to accept that shit. Someone needs to tell you it. God damn it.
That's it. And listen, you could DM me or you could DM Jason, and we'll be happy to tell you. We'll be happy to tell you. I don't look. I don't give a fuck. Before we get out of here, right? I just want to bring up a little scenario that might help some people out. A little business scenario. Yo, when you're doing business, people will use angles and advantages, and this has something to do with you being weak mentally, right? And when you're conducting business or anything, I am one, and this goes to the thought of you believing you're great and not being humble and all that shit. I am. People use these words like a word like selfish, right? I don't think selfish is bad, right? Not in the context not in the context I use it, right? Because I'm selfish as shit because if I'm not good, my wife ain't good, my daughters ain't good, my mom ain't good. I got to take care of myself. I got to think about me. Somebody said that in one of the comments. Oh man, that's pretty selfish. What? If each person thought about themselves and concentrated on what they're doing instead of the government or Trump or whoever the fuck, or concentrating on this all this other shit. If you concentrated on yourself, if you were selfish and concentrated on your greatness, whatever that may be, in whatever field you're in, if you concentrated on your greatness, I asked this person, how would the world, what would the world look like? What would the world look like if everyone concentrated on their own greatness, right? So going back to the business thing, um, I was handling some business with somebody, and they said, what was the exact words? Because I know you heard these words before. Yeah, that makes this person said that makes sense. Doing it this way will make sense, right? And I said, makes sense for who? Who's it gonna make sense for? And it's like, oh, for me. I was like, what the fuck? Who the what? I don't give a fuck about you.
Fuck you thought cared about that.
What? Oh, that'll make sense. Makes sense for who? Oh, it makes sense for me. What? I don't give a fuck. What about me, motherfucker? Like you have to be selfish. Like I don't want to. I don't want to do what makes sense for you. I want to. Hell no. We're
Oh
not going to do
shit.
that. We're not. That's not the way we conducting business. It's not a one-way street, motherfucker. It's two ways. That'll make sense. Makes sense for you, not me. Come on, man. Nah, man.
A lot
Fuck
of people
that.
Uh, yeah, that's some bullshit. A lot of people try to do these little subtle manipulation tactics to
Yeah,
make you feel like you're a
yeah.
bad person for disagreeing with it. Like, be a team player. Like, well, hold the fuck up. Just because you want this, it doesn't make me going along with what you want me a team player, motherfucker. Just because it makes
Not
sense
at
for you, it
all.
don't mean that it makes sense for me. Just because
Not
you
at
feel like
all.
I'm being selfish, like you. But people fall for this shit because they're fucking weak minded and It's
Yeah.
exactly what you said. I don't think that being selfish, depending on how you're selfish, is a bad thing. I
Yeah.
think one of the most
Right.
selfless things that you could do is be selfish. If you are a selfless person,
Mm.
then you're ineffective if you're not selfish, right? Because people are like, well, you should do shit for other people. Okay, cool. But if you're not the best version of you, what the fuck are you going to do for anybody else? If you're only 10% of who you could be, then you're only able to give 10% to somebody else. What kind
That's
of
it.
stupid shit is this? If you got 10 ounces of
Right.
water, then all you could give out is 10 ounces of water. Make yourself into a gallon jug so you have a fucking gallon to give out. But the only way that you could do that is by being selfish and focusing on you. So if you're not the best version of you, you can't give anyone else your best. You some half-ass motherfucker. All you can do is pass out half-assery. And what good is that doing to any goddamn body? Nothing. So, and that's all this shit that people, again, one of these stupid little things that people like to say, that's selfish. You got to think about other people. I am thinking about other people by thinking about me, bitch. I'm most useful to people when I'm the best version of fucking me. I'm thinking that I need to
That's
make some
it.
fucking money so I can distribute this money amongst the people I fucking care about. I'm thinking that I need to be in good health so that I'm around to help out people that I give a fuck about. I think that I need to focus on me being well spoken and successful so that people will fucking listen to me so they can become the best version of themselves. Who the fuck you think wants to hear me talk if I'm some fat motherfucker sitting here with acne and shit all over my fucking face, balding and fucking stomach flopped the fuck out of my pants, smelling like cheeseburgers through the phone, talking about you gotta get your life together, man. Like you gotta get your fucking
Right.
life together first. Like you can't do you're not any good to anybody if you're not good to yourself first, period. Like all of that other shit is, again, it goes back to the other stuff, just encouraging people to be less than and stupid and docile, and most people fall for this shit proudly and arrogantly. So people are arrogantly slaves, and it's fucking
Yeah. That's the
insane.
crazy part. That's the crazy part. They are fucking like they run into the brick wall. They dying on these slave hills. They dying on these slave hills.
Proudly, what do you mean I can get better? No, I can't. Racism. Like shut the fuck up.
Like, yo, what
What do
dog?
you, what do you mean that's not true? The study said it. The study said that man is a woman. You're wrong. Like, what are you talking about? Chill the fuck out and think for your goddamn self, and don't be so arrogant about the fact that you're stupid.
Right. Racism.
Fucking insanity.
Racism. I can't make it because you are racist. There's too much racism.
No one
Y'all
can get ahead
motherfuckers.
now because they hate me. Like what are you talking about? You see all these fucking successful black men? Shut the fuck up, man.
Yeah, like, yo, dog, man, toughen up, dog. Toughen the fuck up. You ain't gonna
Stop
make it.
whining and fighting for your shortcomings.
Yo, yeah. Stop doing that. Yo, we ain't discussed this on camera, but yo, I always be like, yo, what would this world be without the sheep? Like, what would the wolves do? What would us wolves do? And I, I don't think you got this on camera, but you had said something so, and it stuck with me. You said that if everyone was equal, it'll go back to the way it was. Eventually, it'll go back to the way things are naturally supposed to be. The wolves will eat the sheep. If we all can start out as sheep, but we will become still the wolves will become wolves and eat the sheep eventually, right? So it doesn't matter if we start out even. Everyone's the same. We should all have the same amount of money and the same this and the same. It doesn't matter because the wolves will end
In
up
the
on top eventually.
same place. That's what these people don't get with the shit, where they're like, we need equity so everyone can have the same shit. Everyone can't have the same shit because that's
We
not how
can't.
anything works. You could take everybody back to the starting line and put everyone at the same place. And you know who's going to win? The winners. You know who's going to lose? The losers.
The
Because some of y'all
losers.
motherfuckers aren't going to run. The only way to make sure that everybody has the same thing is to pander to the lowest common denominator. You have to handicap people who could do stuff. You have to start lobotomizing smart people and crippling motivated people and all of that shit, and the world is just going to fall flat the fuck apart because that's the only way to get everyone on the same playing field and keep them there is
Mhm.
handicapping people. And that's a bunch of dumb shit. You have to try harder or you're going to fucking fail, and that's life. And exactly like you said, you could take all these people and put them in any situation and they would wind up right back to where it is that they are now. They could take all of the wealth in America and distribute it evenly. And you know who would be poor again? Poor people. You know who would
Poor
be
people.
rich again? rich people. It's because they know what to do with money and you fucking don't. That's just how it goes. It's not about the having of the stuff. It's about who the fuck it is that you are. Some people are wolves, some people are sheep. Some people will act like one, they're wolves in sheep's clothing, and then they get unlocked in whatever capacity. They hear some shit, they're like, oh cool, I need to do my wolf shit now. And other people will hear it and be like, no, I'm a sheep forever, I have to follow the motherfucker around with a stick and stick in this cage. What are you talking about? And they'll watch some wolves some sheep unzip themselves and become wolves, and then they'll convince themselves that's not really what it is that they're seeing. They'll convince themselves that they're magical sheep and it was some shit like that. They'll convince themselves that it's their genetics and it's because these are white sheep and we're black sheep. Some stupid shit to stop themselves from succeeding.
One day that herder will lead us in the right path. One day he will.
He's gonna take it. He's gonna save us. We just need to wait for the right one.
You see this fuzzy wool coat I got? He's not gonna. He doesn't want this. No one wants this. He's not gonna take this from me. It's not. No one wants lamb. No one's eating lamb today. Wake the fuck up, dog. So one day that guy with the stick is gonna lead us to the promised land.
To the promised land. We're gonna be in sheep utopia. If it's not this stick guy, it'll be the next stick guy. Some guy with a stick is gonna come along and make everything all right.
Some guy with the stick. You know what? I don't like that guy.
All those people are gonna leave. They're gonna regret leaving our fucking sheep enclosure.
Hold on, Jay. I don't like that guy with the sheep. That guy with the stick. I don't like that particular guy with the stick. I like that guy over there with the stick. I like that particular stick guy over there. He doesn't hit us so hard, but this guy with the stick over here, I don't like the way he talks to us. This guy over here, this herder over here, y'all gotta wake the fuck up.
This is what these people are. A bunch of slaves fighting over which plantation to be on. It's fucking insane.
Crazy, man. But look, yo, I want to say this too, just to end it off, because by the time this show airs, it'll probably be I don't know. It will be late because we're a little ahead. So I just want to say we lost a great one. Rest in peace, Irv Gotti. I knew Irv.
Man.
Yeah, I knew Irv. Rest in peace, Irv Gotti. I see people posting them that I always feel funny about shit like that. But people mourn in their own ways, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. I just want to say, rest in peace to Irv. Also, loyalty. Be loyal. Listen to the universe. Be strong. Be ferocious. And don't be a motherfucking sheep.
Think your own goddamn thoughts. All of the
Think
time.
Your own fucking thoughts. Man.
If some shit doesn't make sense to you, then don't accept it. I don't give a fuck who told you. I don't care what credentials they tell you this motherfucker has. If it doesn't make sense to you, reject that shit. Period. Otherwise, you are always going to be a slave.
Yeah, it's okay to think differently. It's okay to look, man. I always say this, man. I don't have to agree with you to like you. I don't have to disagree with you to dislike you. I could hate your fucking guts and agree with you. That shit don't matter. That shit don't matter to me, man. Like, so I don't alienate or condemn anyone with a difference of opinion. I hate shit like that. Right? So, like I said, man, listen to the words. Listen to the words, not our words. The words of the people in your life. Listen to them. And then you know what you do after you listen to them? Stop listening to them and watch the actions and listen to the only person. Yeah, you should only be listening to the universe, and because it'll show you everything you need to know.
Always.
And that's the game. That's the game within the game, man. We reading between the lines, and just to give you a different perspective, man. That's the game within the game, man. Always. It's always a pleasure talking to my brother, Jason Lamar. Man, it's always we getting good, man. We getting good.
Better every time, man. This is how, again, following what the universe is saying. And you know what? Yeah. I want to touch back on that from what we were saying in the beginning, right? Just like you said, you was called, you wanted to do the podcast, so reach out. Cool. at one point in time, I thought, hey, I should start making these little fucking random videos, just sharing the shit that be on my mind. And I kept putting it off, and telling myself all kinds of nonsense excuses. And one day I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking do it. Just fucking gonna go for it. Gonna commit to it. And that led me down this path that I'm on currently. And now
Mm,
we are here. Like, I've been listening to
mm.
this man since I was a fucking teenager. And then because I listened to what the universe told me, hit me up out of nowhere. Yo, let's
Crazy.
collab on this fucking
That's
podcast.
crazy.
Shit is happening. You're being called to do these things for a reason. These thoughts exist in your mind for a purpose, and you are only
Reason.
doing yourself a disservice by ignoring them and thinking that you know better than that shit. You do not. It's there for a reason. It's part of your story, whatever story it is that you were meant to write. So if you were called to do some shit, then you need to do it, especially if you know that it will benefit people. That will
That's
always
fire.
pay you back tenfold. Like, it's not about what it is that you get back, but people run around forever trying to figure out what it is that they could get for themselves. That's never going to get you anywhere. It's a path to fucking nowhere. So when you put good shit out into the universe gives you good shit back, just as a byproduct. That's how it goes.
Absolutely. You take 15 steps towards the right direction, and the universe will take at least 2 steps towards you, man. But you got to take the steps first. You fuck a step. You got to run. At this point, time. You ain't got much time on this earth. We just passing through. So you gotta fuck taking a step. You gotta run. You gotta run towards whatever your path is, whatever you see, whatever your goals may be. And I don't know. I've been thinking about. Or Jay, maybe that's just how a sheep conduct themselves. But
One
if we
thousand
could,
percent it is, but
yeah,
there's one out
maybe
there who's
maybe we
just gonna
wake them.
know.
Maybe we wake one or two up, and not even wake them up, just motivate them. Like, you know what, I'm gonna go shoot that thing I wanted to shoot, or I'm gonna go write this book I wanted to or I want, maybe we could jumpstart one person. If you jumpstart one
And
person, I'll be
and
fine
you
with
know, it don't even gotta be anything along those lines. Maybe it's a girl you want to talk to or some shit.
it.
Maybe you wanna quit smoking,
Yeah,
like anything like that. Whatever it is
anything.
that's sitting there in your mind, like it's always the right time to start is currently. Whenever the thought is in your head, it'll be difficult in the beginning, but that's how you know that what you're doing is right. If it was easy, it wouldn't be worth shit.
Absolutely, man. Once again, the game within the game, man. Appreciate you.